In 2004, Fantasy Flight Games first released Runebound, an adventure board game set in the fantasy realm of Terranoth. A second edition followed shortly after, and countless players experienced hours of adventure. Now, years after Runebound's second edition went out of print, Fantasy Flight Games is prepared to invite heroes back to Terranoth with a new, reimagined version of Runebound.
Runebound is a competitive adventure game. So this is not a cooperative game. This is a game where you are forging your own story in this realm that's full of different people and enemies and sorcerers and magic. And so each game has a scenario that you choose. There are 2 scenarios in the base game, and each one of those gives you a different villain to fight.
So Runebound comes with 2 scenarios. The first one we have in there is the Sentence of Margath, and it is all about the dragons. And the dragons are attacking the towns, the cities of this land, and the players have to go around collecting kind of lore that will help weaken them against Margath, who is the final boss. The other scenario is Vorakesh, the Corpse King, and he is raising minions throughout the land. And as players kind of play the game, the normal game, the story cards will pop up, and these cards will present zombie attacks or other sorts of undead throughout the world, which they have to go defeat. Otherwise, Vorakesh becomes really, really strong.
It's a hex-based board, adventure board. There's different terrain. You roll dice to move. I think the board is going to be received very well. I think the board looks fantastic. Having it come together with 4 different people is really cool.
The movement system is pretty much the same. We still have the hex grid, and you roll the dice to move around. One of the differences, though, is the combat. We've really changed up how combat works. Instead of using dice and things, we now have a combat or a token system, and players will cast those tokens and resolve them alternating turns. So that's a really interesting feature, part of the game.
Yeah, the playtester reaction has been really positive. So a lot of people were a little bit skeptical at first because they're like, where are my dice in combat? I expected to have dice to throw in combat because that's what second edition was. You just rolled these d10s for every single combat. But once they started playing and messing with the token system that we have in the game, they've really come to enjoy it, and they see the depth and interesting decisions that allows you to make, and also the really kind of narrative that forms during combat.
One of my favorite parts is that players will have the opportunity to kind of create the character as they see it, as they want to play it. We have a wizard called Master Thorn, and perhaps one game he's all about magic offense or defense and things like that. And another, the player could have created a build that he is a dual-wielding swordsman who is just slaying anything he comes across. So it's really fun, it's really open, and I really enjoy that part of the game.
I think for the most part, the challenging part has been kind of making sure that we retain kind of some of the feel of the older editions that people love, while also introducing it to a whole new audience with all of these overhauls and streamlined mechanics.
I just hope that fans get excited to go back into Runebound, and adventure in Terranoth. I really would like them to get excited about the graphics and just the graphic update, and get excited for how it looks now versus what it looked like 10 years ago,
Well, I hope people are excited to play it and try it, and that, this might be the adventure game that they've been waiting for, where they can, throw it down onto the table with a couple other people, get through an entire game in just a few hours, and have a really good time doing it.
I think fans are going to be blown away when Runebound is announced at Gen Con. I'm really excited to see the reaction. I think people are the boards are gonna light up. I think people are excited for another fantasy adventure game in our universe. Runebound is an excellent new addition, and I can't wait for players to start playing it.